Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, once celebrated as a spiritual leader and prosperity preacher, remains one of the most controversial figures linked to South Africa's largest financial crime investigations. Today, years after his dramatic escape from the country, the path to accountability continues to grow more tangled, politically charged, and deeply questionable. Bushiri and his wife Mary fled South Africa in November 2020 while out on bail, facing charges of fraud, money laundering and theft involving an estimated 102 million rand. Their flight exposed critical failures within the South African justice system and raised suspicions about who might have helped them evade the law. Recently, a new twist emerged. Speaking to his congregation in Malawi, Bushiri made a surprising admission that individuals in law enforcement allegedly collected money from his team with the promise of making his South African case disappear. Bushiri asserted that General Shadrack Sibiya, a senior figure in the police service, was among those linked to these efforts. His message to followers implied that powerful officials were willing to trade justice for cash, suggesting corruption from within South Africa's crime-fighting ranks. But General Sibiya swiftly responded with a firm denial. He stated, "Shepherd Bushiri is lying. I have not received a cent from him. I was the one who made the offering at his church, where he told me I would be the next National Police Commissioner." According to Sibiya, Bushiri is attempting to discredit investigators as a strategy to escape accountability, painting himself as a victim of corrupt authorities rather than a man avoiding trial. Still, the allegations have reignited a difficult question. Why has it been so hard to bring Shepherd Bushiri back to South Africa? The extradition process in Malawi has dragged on for more than 4 years. Despite what South African officials describe as overwhelming evidence of guilt, activists, legal analysts, and ordinary citizens have asked whether Bushiri has used his wealth and influence to manipulate judicial systems on both sides of the border. There has also been intense scrutiny over the judge who granted the Bushiris bail before they fled. Despite concerns regarding multiple passports, private jets, and substantial financial resources, bail was approved, and soon after, Bushiri vanished. Some critics have even suggested that the judge may have been influenced by proximity to Bushiri's church or congregation connections. These claims remain unproven, but they continue to fuel public distrust in the integrity of the legal process surrounding his case. There is a growing fear among South Africans that high-profile religious leaders with wealth and loyal followings are able to manipulate the justice system to their advantage. Many point to the collapse of the case against Pastor Timothy Omotoso, a matter involving very serious allegations, as another example of how delays, legal challenges, and procedural loopholes can ultimately derail accountability for influential clergy. However, critics argue that the failures in cases like Bushiri and Omotoso do not only point to powerful pastors, but also to weak points inside the justice system itself. Allegations have surfaced for years suggesting that some prosecutors, lawyers, and investigators are vulnerable to financial influence, turning justice into a commodity rather than a constitutional duty. South Africans watching these cases unfold say it raises the alarming possibility that money, not truth, determines who goes to jail and who walks free, and when careers, political ambitions, or personal gain become more important than victims' accountability collapses. Many believe this is how individuals with wealth and massive followings escape consequences, not because they are innocent, but because the system can be bought. Meanwhile, in Malawi, Bushiri's legal wins have only deepened the controversy. Just recently, a court set aside a ruling that would have enabled his extradition, further delaying justice. South Africans viewed this as yet another escape route for a man they believe is determined to avoid trial at all costs. Throughout all of this, Bushiri maintains his innocence, describing his case as persecution driven by jealous competitors, corrupt officials, and a justice system he claims is biased against him. But the victims of his fraud tell a different story. Retirement savings wiped out, families left in debt, promises of prosperity turned into financial devastation, and South Africa continues to ask one key question. If Shepherd Bushiri truly believes he is innocent, why is he fighting so hard to avoid facing justice in a South African courtroom? As the legal battles continue and as both countries exchange accusations of political interference and judicial misconduct, one truth remains. Someone is lying. Either a celebrated religious figure manipulating the system to remain untouchable, or a senior police general attempting to conceal corruption within his ranks. Until Bushiri stands before a South African judge, the public may never know which version of this story holds the truth.